Of the Solo Coaches Lounge. This is the 6 and 2 coach of the Motostoke Magmortars, Dominic. I have my Spotify playlist showing. That is very unprofessional. I had such a good intro like a couple minutes ago. It was amazing. Like it was so good. Like I was just riffing. I don't know if I can do it again. I was feeling really confident and now I just feel like a bozo for realizing the microphone was off. But we are here on a Tuesday night. I don't have to work tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. I have a conference to go to, so I get to stay up a little bit later. Got to pack after this, but be gone for a couple days, so it's exciting. And I do have a long weekend to do some stuff before my battle. But gonna watch a lot of football again. That's what I've been doing a lot of lately. Been watching a lot of content, mostly football related stuff, but I had to reacclimate myself with the battles before I went live tonight. It's a long week, so a lot of stuff been happening. So I gotta redo some of that. But that's what I did before I got on here. I watched one of them again, and you might see me refer to my phone conversations, most likely with Soju Popsicle, coach of the Million Venusaurs, who I played this week, who I did converse with some of the battles about some of the battles with on the side during them, because no coaching allowed. So I give my really harsh critiques on the cell device because that's how I roll. Why you can't criticize too much when they're going. Happened to me, or I assumed it was happening to me, and I got mad. So I can't let that happen to anyone else. So I just it's another mod. It's another coast host of the Coaches Lounge, but technical difficulties make it easier for me to just record solo. And with schedules, this is the best way to go. So, until further notice, I may co-host with Xavier, former coach of the Wyandotte Wobbuffets, coming up here soon. But for now, I'm solo. I'm riffing, giving you my input. I can riff. I'm a good, just going for it guy. I was looking for my water before I got here, but all I could find was my brisk, so that was a little disappointing. Gotta drink brisk at 10:30 at night, but that's fine. So I'm going to start by going over the week 8 battles from last week. Go into week 9, cover the waivers. It's only Tuesday, so not all of them are completed. Did text a couple people who I think are going to put in a waiver to see if they're ready yet, but they weren't. So they're not in. I'll cover those later in the next episode. For now, we're not going to cover them. I'm just going to keep it moving past those. But first, let's cover the week 8 battles. There's some really entertaining stuff going on, and I think we should talk about it. So, going through the week 8 schedule, I'm going to go from bottom up. It's kind of how I open them. So, let's start, and this is the last one I just watched because I watched it and I'm like, Dracovish, 4 kills? I don't remember that. But it's true. It's true. It did happen. I watched it. A lot of people are upset with the style of play, and I hate watching this. Both sides, though, have played quite toxic this season. And when I say toxic, I'm not talking about Jacob's toxic stall or make a pun about it. It was a pun, but I wasn't trying to be funny. That was toxic. I'm still kind of like, wow, he really did that. That's some Smogon stuff right there. But I don't know, the way Jacob plays. I would say he's a fairly passive player compared to some of the competitors in this league. But the way Justin is playing right now, it's like I will commend him for his game 1 lead. The double dragon against the fairy type. And he Okos Tapu Lele turn 1 with a Vicious Rend. I have a feeling he was banded or scarfed. I'm assuming he was scarfed because he went before Salamence. I am astonished that Oko, so maybe he was Adamant Scarf. Or Lele just has way less defense than I thought, and that's something I'm about to look at because that was really surprising. Oko, even though it's a Draco, I know it's a Dracovish. 75 and 70. Okay, maybe it just does. Like that's just wild. But that really set Jacob back in game one, and he's kind of playing from behind. But I really do commend his effort in this first game. He did come back with the Dynamax Goodra that Max Werman does not kill, and the Salamon's kind of set up with the Max Steel Spike, which ended up working out fantastic, fantastic for Justin. And I do like the Stoutland running the priorities, Baby Doll Eyes. You know, keep trying to whittle down that Dracovish. Stoutland gets a kill on the crunch from Salamence. And Jacob does have a pretty passive Max Guard turn 2 on the Max Airstream. Wait, Salamence, Max Steel Spike turn 1, correct? Yes. Stoutland lives. Turn 2, I think he goes for Max Wormwind. And Salamence. So Dracovish should be like a -2, but then I think the Salamence went for Max Airstream, and then the turn 3 of Justin's Dynamax, turn 2 of Jacob's Dynamax, he Max Guards, maybe predicting a Max Wormwind, which is fair. But honestly, like, maybe another Max Wormwind would have really helped out that, stalling out that Dracovish, because it was just doing a lot of stuff here. And even with those stat reductions, he was just putting in a lot of work, just chipping things away. And then the Gooey actually came back to bite Jacob here with the Gooey Goodra, because it made Dracovish slow enough. And I think he was intentionally going for Goodra with the Fish's Friend at that point to be slower in Trick Room. That was pretty cool. Excadrill, absolute nothing bomb again. Just, honestly, just very underwhelming in a draft league. Even though it has good typing. So frail. And, oh, it's late, I'm sorry. Just as we've noticed, like, these bulkier Pokemon are just doing better. That's just the way it is. They're just doing better. And that's just been a theme for the last 2 seasons. Not as much the first 2 VGC seasons, but these last 2, since we moved to the website, really just been dominated by ground and steel, Max Quake, Max Steel Spike moves. Let me go on to game 2. You know, a quick switch in game 1, the turn 1 of game 2 by Jacob. I can't remember what he switched. I think he switched out Goodra for Regirock and then the Melodic, and then he went for Max Lightning from the Salamence on Melodic, followed by a Breaking Swipe. The Melodic lived. He tries to get the Regirock in. He does. He just clicks. Justin clicks follow me the whole time. Just a problem, but he can't really kill anything during Dynamax with Regirock. He does get a kill at the end, but this game was less close at the beginning. In the middle, Jacob played alright. He did get a yawn off, but then Dusclops woke up turn 1. Well, after, like, the one always turn of sleep, he woke up. And it did kind of set Jacob back. That was his only chance, and then he got off the Trick Room again. Let me make sure that's what happened. I'm pretty sure it was. This is unprofessional, guys. This is unprofessional. Let me see. I didn't think the Glastrier had weakness policy, but it did. That was a mistake by me. But, other than that, people just need to adjust their strategy against Justin. His team is stacked, yes, but there is a way to beat it. I hope there's a way to beat it, at least. It's, you know, it's very annoying to deal with. I think Jacob gave a good fighting effort, but this was just not in the cards. Dusclops with 2 Nightshade kills. I don't like that. No one likes that. Let's move on, though. Oh, yes, here we go. This was the honorary game of the week. And look who won. Mitch Babbitt. I can't believe this guy won. This guy has been clowned on for so long. He almost beats me. He's had some close ones against me. He gets pretty lucky. But Noah helps him more than I have in the past. I think this was all him. He didn't even ask me for a team. What do you think of my team this week? He just went out, beat him. Galarian Moltres, putting in some work. Not sure if there's a kill missing here. Possibly. Maybe he died to his own hail. If you're seeing this, Mitch, let me know if this is right. You probably see it later. But, you know, I was kind of thought you should bring Feeney here. There is a after podcast of these two after their match. And I asked in the comments, I said in the chat, I said, why didn't you bring Feeney? He said, Ninetales is more fun. I said, you know, that's fair. I mean, I get it. Feeney, though, would have really beat this Galarian Moltres. And possibly the Cinderace if it moves not shit. He's still fire type, but you know, the weakness palace to Dragapult was decent. The Beartic's Flush Rush worked alright. Especially in game 2 it worked. I mean, he won game 2. 3-0, kind of took care of everything. Cinderace got a nice cheeky kill on this Sableye, but he really did neutralize that Dynamax in game 2. And, you know, that's respectable. And in game 3, a 4-0 with the Miss Blizzard. I believe, yeah. Oh, no, wait, the Miss Blizzard was a different match, but there was a missed move and the crit Draining Kiss on the Comfey to the Dragapult and the Dynamax. That was followed by a Max Guard just to make sure Comfey got the kill instead of Galarian Moltres. That was really nice. It was a crit, but I believe the crit didn't matter. I mean, who's to say? They did talk about a calc on it, but yeah. Mimikyu, you know, it lives, but didn't really do much, especially with this team comp. I was expected to get one off Dragapult. I know it did some damage with the play roughs here and there, but you know, not too impressive. But Mitch set up Galarian Moltres well for victory. I think Beartic, I guess, was his only win con here. What to say? I mean, Sableye used a Quash, but then didn't work on Galarian Moltres because it's a Dark type. That was pretty funny. But yeah, the student beats the master here. Mitch is officially 500 again. He wins this week. He's over 500 for the first time, unless he's somehow been 1-0 before, which I don't think he has. I think Darius beat him the first time last year. This is something else. We'll talk more about Mitch later. For Noah, didn't expect him to see him at the bottom. Not gonna belabor that point. Let's move on. Next we have the Blackthorn City Breloons against Surchester Centiskorch, and fun match. I enjoyed this. This was the match with the Mist Blizzard in Game 3 from Tentacruel. He missed both the Dracozolt and I also think Ninetales with the Blizzard. Blizzard would have done a lot to Dracozolt with the helping hand from Raichu. I did skip past a little bit, but it was on the forefront of my mind, so I had to talk about it right then. Sorry. But this was fun. I mean, I see 3 Fake Out users on Bailey's team, and I don't think any of them had Fake Out. I think it would have been really helpful here, especially against like the Prim if he had like Fake Out on like a Grim on the Prim, unless he thought he was going to Dynamax it right away. With the Raichu to apply pressure to that Ninetale. Yeah, the Crook was really bothersome for him. Like it was, I could tell. Like it was pretty threatening to this team comp. Beats all of the Pokemon there. But Tentacruel can get away with beating it if it gets lucky. It just needs like a special attack boost or 2. Weakness Policy Tentacruel is a cool touch though. The Raikou getting a kill is cool. Raikou never really hasn't had much success in the MSBA, so I'm glad that it's finally getting a little bit of work in. I know it was on Noah B's team before, and that was traded for Porygon Z, but I do think that Bailey had a good chance here. Like, that Game 3 stunk for him, but nice 3-0 in Game 2. Mamoswine really applied some pressure here. The Chad gets a kill, which is cool. Darkest Lariat kill, I believe, or Flare Blitz kill. It did do a lot of damage with the Flare Blitz because of the Sun from Ninetales. I think it started just really firing all cylinders. You know, Bailey and Grim, you know, they're a partnership, but I just expect more out of it, and I don't know if it's him or the way he's using it, or if it's just not as good as a Mon as I thought, but I did expect more from Grimmsnarl, especially as a keeper going into this season. But Mamoswine, a great pickup for Bailey so far. And Tentacruel actually putting in some solid work this battle. I respect it. Game 3, that Mist Blizzard, though, really could have It really cost Bailey because then the Dracozolt was able to run shop on the Tentacruel after a Stomping Tantrum. Raichu goes away, then it kind of just applies pressure. Not sure if Raichu went away, but yeah. um, this was fun. I need to. I wanted to rewatch this one as well, but I did not have the time. Dracozolt putting in some nice work, reminiscent of my old days using Dracozolt. Ninetales was a nice Heat Wave kill. I think also there's a burn in this match somewhere with the Heat Wave, but I can't remember. And Prim is just always a threat, so this was enjoyable. Let me move on. Benny and Brandon have not played yet, by the way. They're playing tomorrow. Vermilion Venusaur's Mudstill Stomping Tantrums. Reggie. This is a very balanced attack. I honestly do not remember this game 1. Spectre coming out and, not doing anything exciting, though. Getting a Rhyperior kill. Assuming Trick Room was set up here. I think the Mienshao was taken out quickly. I'm assuming the Reggie Dynamaxed. I don't really remember much about this game 1, but it was definitely a balanced attack. Serena probably stopping some priority somewhere, maybe with the fake out on Mienshao. But, I like that. That's a just balanced attack. It has to be like that sometimes. But the next game is a 4-0 with the Indeedee Follow Me and the Spectre lead against this team comp. With the Mienshao support in the back for fast, close combating. And faking out and U-turning. I don't think he had U-turn, but I'm just using things that Mienshao normally has. Although, along with Liepard, who may or may not even have stepped foot in this match to offer Prankster support, that's irritating. And obviously he didn't do anything with that. The Weezing and the Reggie have nothing. So then he tries to adapt to the Cole Weavile strat. He has 2 very solid strategies that do take a little bit of setup, but not really. Cole Weavile setup, but then Weezing Reggie's not set up. It just exists. But if you can get one's not as good without the other. Weezing can adapt on its own, but Reggie without Weezing is not very good. Game 3 is a little bit closer. Spectre put in some work. But I do remember that I think it was a Liepard put in a fake out on the Weavile. Then Spectre, I believe, knocked out the Weavile without it getting a surf off, so the Cole never procced Steam Engine or Weakness Policy. And they kind of did some chipping damage with the Vocalist here and there to make it close. But getting that Weavile out there first turn was the game changer for this. There wasn't really much more he could do with that with Spectre just clicking buttons. Eventually getting knocked out by the Colossal, but Liepard also getting knocked out by the Colossal. But then the option of Trick Room Expanding Force from both female Indeedee and Reuniclus was too much to stop with the Weavile gone. If the Weavile was still in this match, it might have been a very different story, considering he brought 2 Psychic types and a Ghost, as well as a Dark. Very not diverse forward bring, but it worked out here with the Weavile gone. Serena couldn't do enough. Zapdos couldn't do anything. Probably got knocked out by the Spectre from a Max Strike. I think it was a +1 Max Strike. I was like, how did that kill? It was because of the +1 Max Strike. But that's a Hyper Beam, so that's going to do a lot. So, very impressive game, though, from both sides. Both good battlers. It's what to expect. A nice back and forth. A nice 3-game series. That's all you want. And even though Adam lost here, I think he can definitely hold his head up high and adjust. As for Fuku, I'm talking a little bit more about Fuku's team later, but exciting. Then the game of the week was me versus Blake, and this was one game of the week, I'm telling you guys. So game 1, kind of just really put in some work with the Galarian Zapdos getting, I think it was Max Quake and Steel Spike boosts. Me not getting some knockouts I expected. The Tailwind helped me out, but the Lapras couldn't do enough against this Light Clay Cresselia. It was just really problematic for me to get through. Had no problem stopping Garchomp, but Volcarona just allowed to Giga Drain and Heat Wave on me. It was troubling, and I couldn't beat that game 1. Circuitry did a little bit, helped me get the Zapdos out of there, but credit Blake for, Oh, this is the game where Clefairy, yes, it was turn 1 was Aerodactyl Clefairy. I used Follow Me and hit Tailwind. Then he used Max Steel. No, he used Iron Head and Steel Wing. I don't think he even had Dynamax at this point. And it was enough to knock out Clefairy. So then I had brought in Lapras Aerodactyl. I outsped, but he knew I was probably weakness policy, so he didn't proc that. And my Dynamax, I did have the light clay. Not, I didn't have light clay, but I did have the screens for a little bit, so it was a little bit of a longer match. But didn't work on my favor. Couldn't get the damage output to work out here. So yeah, whatever. Game two though, wow. Lapras does get the weakness policy to proc. Have no problem Okoing the Garchomp. I read that. The Crest was setting up light screens again. He was doing some switching. Very tough to beat. But he didn't ally switch for a while, and I finally predicted the ally switch correctly. After he procced my weakness policy with Thunderous Kick, he hadn't done it for like 3 or 4 turns. I predicted it because it was very slow. It was going back and forth. Just a lot of follow me, helping hand, stuff like that. Get off the Thunderbolt on that Zapdos slot. Off a nice read. Kills it. Crest wasn't doing enough damage through the screens. Lapras wasn't really doing enough damage either because I didn't have weakness policy proc for a while, even with helping hand. Hydro pumps and freeze dries and thunderbolts weren't really doing much even after I had set up the lightning terrain. He had set up like 2 max quakes with a light screen. It was incredibly difficult to break through. So then Volcarona comes in and I double protect or something trying to predict, and he quiver danced on me. Gets off a heat wave, kills both my mons. Comes in again. I think he might have quiver danced twice, honestly. Couldn't do enough damage with the hydro pump back after the quiver dance. I think that's what happened. Or either way, he was on low. No, Sash was broken, I believe, but couldn't really do anything. So I switched into Cephalon and Metagross. Go for the Shadow Ball. Let me make sure I have this right in my head. I go for the Shadow. Yes, okay, there it is. Okay. Go for the Shadow Ball on the Volk because it's low. Kill the Volk. He kills my Metagross right away with a Heat Wave. So Metagross was literally a non-factor, 1 turn and out. Cephalon lives about like 85 HP. Maybe 75, something like that. Crest is just going for Icy Winds, but I was Scarfed. So I get a +1 with the Beast Boost on the special attack. I'm hitting Shadow Balls through his light screen. I think he still had a light screen up. And his Max Quake special defense boost. There's a crit Icy Wind. It's like the only way he can possibly win. He gets a crit. So the Icy Winds are doing like 12 HP. This one gets me, because of the crit, it gets me to 10. So last turn of the match, it's either do I outspeed him, I'm like -2 or 3 at this point. The Crest was a min speed nature, but it had speed, and I don't think it had speed investment, but it had like the best speed IV, I think, or something like that. That's what Blake told me. It might have had speed, but my Cephalon ends up outspeeding it. He could have missed the Icy Wind, but Cephalon barely ends up outspeeding it thanks to the Scarf. Gets another Shadow Ball off. The +1 Shadow Ball wasn't really doing that much. That's how you know that Crest was so bulky. And I do get the kill to head of the game 3. Game 3 comes. I almost fumbled the bag. Blake, though, Dynamax's Zapdos. I unexpectedly lead Clefairy Aerodactyl again. I Dynamax Aerodactyl turn 1 for the helping hand, max Airstream, knock out the Galarian Zapdos, ruin his Dynamax. Kind of put me in the driver's seat for the rest of the game. Aerodactyl got some nice rock slides off. Lapras helped me get Garchomp out of here after he did get an Icy Wind to go off. And as you can see, you're looking at this, it's like this is a 1-0. Blake got 1 kill. Yeah, I can explain that. I think it was Crest Volk at the end of the game against my Clefairy Cephalon. I had Lapras in the back. Volk goes for, I think he had 1 Quiver Dance. I do think he had 1 Quiver Dance up, but I can't remember. It might have not. But I go for Mind Blown, knock out the Crest. Want to see the animation, go to +1. Did not knock out the Volcarona. Okay, so in that turn, the first turn I used the Mind Blown, I went to protect the Clefairy. So I was Scarfed, so I should have probably just switched out into Lapras. probably would have outsped the Volk after one Quiver Dance, but that didn't happen. Volcarona used Protect. I went for Mind Blown again. I kill my own Clefairy, and then I die because it takes half HP. I die. So I lose both my Pokemon in one turn, and the Volcarona is still alive. +1. He goes for a Giga Drain on my Lapras. Does about like... Actually, I don't think he was +1. I think he was just neutral. Because he went for the Heat Wave before. Or something. I can't remember exactly. But he goes for the Giga Drain. Does about 40%. Procs my weakness policy, and I do hit the Hydro Pump to knock out the Volcarona. But it was much closer than it had to be. I think I just would have had to switch out the Cephalon. Just play with Lapras, and then I could bring the Cephalon back in and do damage, and then probably be good to go. Made this harder than it needed to be, but we do pick up the dub 1-0 with a +1 differential here. Win 2-1. Very exciting. Definitely one of the most thrills I had. I remember I was dancing in my kitchen. My dad was looking at me like I was crazy because I didn't stream. I kind of had a haphazard. I was on my phone with notes. I have the notes on my phone. Why am I not looking at them? Let me make sure that they look. What I said to you guys sounds about right. Yeah, the Crest killed the Aerodactyl with the Icy Wind. Cephalon kills Clefairy, Crest, and it kills itself. Yeah, sounds about right. Aerodactyl did kill Garchomp, by the way. Aerodactyl, very sneaky, great ball Pokemon. Very fast, setting up the rocks against Jacob that one time. That was great. Tailwind, gets a little couple other things. Very cool. I like that I'm using Aerodactyl. But this was an awesome game. Respect to Blake, the cuz. You guys already know what it is there. All love. This was very fun. I don't even think I would have been mad if I lost game 3 because I was just laughing after I killed myself with Cephalon. No sour grapes. This was great. Great fun. I know Blake said in the stream that I was lucky. I think I had like one crit and it was pretty minor. In this whole match, his crit Icy Wind was way more important, but it ended up not mattering. But it could have. So we're gonna move on to just discussing the waivers from the last couple days. Only 3 moves. Well, I did not touch on Dimshuda. Mr. Mime Galar is gone. He had a great 1 performance, but Shedinja's here, and that's a great pick. Wonder Guard, it's a great ability. And we've seen Shedinja work online right now. Like it has the opportunity. I've seen it a couple weeks ago become really successful. So this is a great value pickup. And then Graplock for Lurantis. Apparently I put this thing in Pokeball tier and they tried to move it up. I said, no, it should stay. We need some power here. Yeah, wrong person to get this Pokemon with the contrary boost. But not a great Dynamax Pokemon. But I don't think it needs to be because of the Follow Me support that Justin has and the Trick Room, the ally switches, and oh my god, this sucks. The Lurantis could become a problem. Do wish he used Graplock though. Very disappointing. He did not do that. Come on, man. We all just want an Octo hug. Alright, I released Sceptile, which is my all-time favorite Mon. And it has a great speed tier, and it does have a lot of power for the, Pokeball tier, but I picked up Shiftry. I wanted some dual types. I wanted to use a different Mon that hadn't been used before. Might have been used back before we got on the website. It sounds familiar. I think Adam might have used it. I'd have to ask him to confirm. But in terms of the new records, it's like it's transferring like history books from like one to the other, and some things get lost in translation. That was one. So Shiftry is now a member of the Motostock Bag Orders. Very interesting Pokemon. Excited to use it. And then I can't have Sceptile back now because Justin has not picked up Sceptile. Justin has not picked up Sceptile. Jacob has picked up Sceptile. Let go of Pinsir after its embarrassing performance against me with the wrong moves. Wasn't going to do anything either. Anyways, I had that one. I felt pretty confident about that one. Even with his wrong moves, I don't think it would have mattered. I was clicking that day. But Sceptile was on Jacob's team. Unburden is pretty nice with Sceptile. It was a championship winning Mon. Jacob had it last year with the Tapu Lele. Assuming that's what he's going to try to do again. It is just a fast Mon in general, though. Can help him with some grass. He does have a grass type core. He said that earlier. Let me make sure. He said I already had the Firewire grass core. Remember him saying that? Yeah, he does have Executor. But now, yeah, now, I mean, I would say it's an improvement. The bug typing is not very common in this league. Not very many bug types on any team. So he decided to get rid of one. That's fine. That's why taking out Pokemon like Shiftry with the times 4 bug weakness isn't that big of a deal, because bug coverage hasn't really been that important this season. But Shedinja's around now, so I guess I can't be talking too loudly, right? Alright, let's take a quick look at the standings, guys. Is this waivers? Yeah, not much has changed. Fuku's still behind Adam in the standings, even though he went head-to-head because of Pokemon differential. I have passed Noah, even though he beat me, because I have a higher match differential. You know, really only one bad loss for me this season. Only one 2-0 from Betty, who deservedly beat me. I've had some 2-1s, but you know, the most important thing is to win. I also have 3 2-0s in a row, which is really nice, but we do need to keep that winning streak up against Fuku. So do Popsicle coaches their million Venusaurs. I mean, Justin's all alone at the top. Someone's got to take this guy down. Is Brandon the guy to do it? I really don't know. I hope it is. I hope a new day for my first host. A new age for my first host of the Coach's Lounge. Brandon's birthday is today. Don't know how old he's turning, but I'm assuming it's pretty old. Happy birthday to Brandon. The league wishes you well, and good luck against Justin. But yeah, we are, you know, this is a playoff push. If Benny wins tomorrow, he could push into that 8th spot, because he would be 3-5, but then with a win, he'd be over -4, so he would jump Jacob. So if Benny wins tomorrow, he is in the playoffs already. So we have 5 weeks left. So things can still hold strong here. I think it's actually 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks left. 6 weeks of matches left, because we've done 8 matches. We're on week 9, so we have 6 weeks of matches left. Trade deadline is next week, so after next Wednesday at 11:59, trades are done. No more trading. It hasn't been that much trading this year. There's been a few sprinkled in, but maybe we'll see some more magic at the deadline. Waiver deadline week 12, so we still have to wait a while for that. Biggest surprises, I mean, I guess Jacob and Bailey just being this low, you know, expecting off a championship appearance for both of them. Win for Jacob. You'd expect them to be doing more, but they're not. Maybe it was a fluke. I don't know. Don't want to say that. But all-star teams are coming up soon. So, don't think I said it was gonna be this week. I think it's gonna be week 11. So it's time. You can get your resumes up. You can get your stats up, like Mitch said with that Moltres last week. I saw what he was doing. He's cheeky. Cinderace is still probably gonna be your all-star man. Maybe you can get a second one, but I don't know if Comfey is deserving either. Could be. We'll see. We'll see what the selection committee has to say. Don't know who's on that. It might just be me. Maybe Noah and Fuku will join me. It depends. But yeah, this standing snapshot for you guys. Kind of talked about it in chat the other day. Yesterday. Maybe it was today. I think it was today. I'm just losing track of time. Time is just ever changing. But let's go on to week 9, guys. I'm not going to look at this again. I predicted what I predicted. Don't remember what I predicted. I think I predicted Benny to win 2-1. Just off the top of my head. Let's go into week 9. I do think that my battle with Fuku is also game of the week again. You know, you're getting these heavyweight matchups. They're going to be games of the week. This is how it's going to shake out. Not as exciting, but this is a mod. This is the mod battle. As always, I predict myself to win. I don't always do this, but I'm doing it now. But I've noticed something with Fuku's team is that he hates middle speed tiers. He thinks, and a lot of people do too, like if you play online, a lot of middle speed tiers don't exist. It's either super fast or super slow, no in between. Fuku has cut out all of it. His slowest Pokemon outside of Trick Room is indeed female at 85. That's fast. That's fast. I definitely do not abide by that rule. Look at my team. It's a bunch of 80s, 60s, 76s. But there's power. I mean, Blaziken's kind of an asterisk because it can get speed boosts. But, and giving up Sceptile makes me slower. And I do recognize that. And I recognized it when I made that move. And I was reluctant to do so. But, look. He's probably always going to have the speed advantage. Because you have to, and that's a huge part of Pokemon. Because he has Thunderous Incarnate to put up Tailwinds. He has Mienshao and, fake out support if you want to switch it. You're going to pop your own Tailwind. Chinchino, pretty fast Pokemon, can be dealt with, but fast, yet frail, yet powerful. He's a little, Chinchino's a bite-sized little fun Powerball. That's what I'm going to call a Powerball. But now he's really leaning into either being in Trick Room or being faster than everyone else. He has the Sun still with Rhyperior. No, not Rhyperior. Torkoal and Lilligant. I don't think he really cares about that much. He has the Expanding Force Spam with Free Uniqueness and DD Female. He just has power with Thunderous and Spectre with Follow Me support with ED. Heliolisk to also take advantage of that Sun. New addition to the squad. Did play, didn't get any stats. Mienshao to apply, just very offensive pressure. And Swish Initiative as well. Liepard to put up Prankster. Now I have another Dark type, so. But yeah, this team is much better than it was at the beginning of the season. It's almost like he drafted bad on purpose, right? I mean, he might have. Probably not. But, I'm not going to touch on it from my end. And I'm not going to try to predict what he does for me. All I'm going to do is review his team tonight. Predict I'm going to win. See some things that I can really exploit here. Just need to be careful with how I go about those things. Because he definitely, he definitely could blow me out. There's a couple things here I'm really nervous about. But I probably need to play creative, to get this dub. See a couple things I can do to maybe bother him. So we'll try to do those things. Because that's what we have to do. We're playing Pokemon. So, I don't think he'll bring what I want him to bring. But, that remains to be seen. This should be a good go. Fuku's a good battler. Hope he gives me the time of day. I don't have as much time as I normally would like. But, that's fine. Did a couple raids last night, so maybe I could get a little bit extra candy if I need to do that. To level up a new Mon. Or breed a new Mon. Then level that up. Whatever I need to do. That's not saying anything. I have breed checks of all these Mons. Besides the Ultra Beasts. I do have an extra Bucephalon that I didn't know I had, so that's good. But I got some candy, so maybe I don't need to be as, outwardly resourceful. I don't need to export as much. Or import as much. Can export my own. Alright, no more econ here. Let's move on. Next up, we have a good battle of the Mudsdale Stomping Tantrums and the Ludicolo Rain Dancers. Now look, Mitch wins here. Just hats off to the guy. This is a former tennis rivalry. Adam laughed at Mitch when he broke his hand. And that's not right. We don't support our friends getting injured. This guy's messed up, okay? This Adam guy, he's a little bit bizarre. Rooting on Mitch's downfall after he runs into a pole. Can't say I approve of that behavior, but look. Cole is phenomenal here, guys. Phenomenal! Absolutely phenomenal. Maybe not against Swampert, but he can still use Grass-type move with Solar Beam. Mitch needs to do a watch out! And I wish I had, an editing right now. Watch out, like in a pop art. Like a comic book. Because Mitch needs to be careful for that Cole. Regigigas could be pretty good here as well, but that Cole is going to be a problem. And Weezing could be difficult here for Mitch too, because Cinderace and Moltres do like their abilities a lot. But he can also use the Weezing to his advantage if it comes with the Golisopod. You need to bring Golisopod once, Mitch, because it's cool and you're not using it. But Swampert is really strong here. Immune to Zapdos electric attacks. Quad effective against Cole with water and ground. Just need to be careful. let's see. I mean, it's not great against Blastoise, and Serena does counter it hard. But Mitch has things to take care of Serena in return. So it's not as big of a deal as you think. Like he has Crobat and Galarian Moltres and Cinderace. Don't really see an opportunity for Magnezone to do much here. It does have the Blastoise, but just really bad against Mudsdale. Okay, so have we addressed the elephant in the room? Mudsdale has been a freaking staple of the MSBA for years. It has no kills. Also, it's only played one game. Also, Adam said he was going to make more trades and waivers. He hasn't. He's basically not used two of his. Oh, he has made some moves though, because he didn't have Cole. So for the, he did make some moves. Yeah, he didn't start with Cole on his team. He had Porygon 2. But he's had Mudsdale and Marowak for a while, and he hasn't really done much with them. Those are Ultra Ball mons. He's trying to win. He is winning. And Zapdos hasn't been that great either. He is winning with Regigigas and Cole and Weezing. That's cool. Like he's really basically neglecting two of his top tier mons. I don't know if he wants to upgrade that or not. He doesn't have a Trick Room setter. So these slow mons aren't really benefiting Adam anymore because he doesn't have anything to use them with. But the sheer threat of Mudsdale and Marowak Alola and Marowak is strong. But I mean, I do think in my heart still Adam is a better battler than Mitch. But I do see some ways where Mitch could really take advantage of this team. Cinderace is pretty good here if played correctly. And well, it's good against the things Adam has brought. But I mean, it's not good against Alolan Marowak and Mudsdale. And it's not good against Weezing either. But it is good, like, on the surface against Cole. But it's also not at the same time. I think I have Adam 2-0 here. I really do expect Mitch to take a step back and still not reach that over 500 plateau. I do think this is just a match where Adam has the advantage. Zapdos can also put in a lot of work here against that Galarian Moltres and Cinderace. Like, yeah, what does he have for Galarian? What does he have for Zapdos? Nothing. He doesn't. He actually does not. He has a Ludicolo Ice Beam, and that's about it. Zapdos can clean shop here as well. Yeah, I think just Adam just has the sheer advantage. Mitch is going to have to get creative if he wants to win here. Maybe X Factor, Crobat, Latios, maybe. Yeah! Possible. But there's a couple things that Adam can do to counter Latios as well. Are we talking about special attacking weakness policy Comfey like Noah B did a couple years ago to Darius? Possible. Well, it wasn't a couple years ago, but you know what I mean. But yeah, until further notice, 2-0 Adam. Let's keep going. Oh, the cousin rivalry that no one ever talks about because it's not that entertaining. It's like the Knicks playing the Nets. Oh, sorry. I thought the Knicks were good last year. Oh my God, spare me. I used to like the Knicks a little bit when I was younger. I really wish I didn't, because just no. Cursed franchise. They're not cursed, but like they're annoying. The Knicks are pleasantly annoying. And when I say pleasantly, like it's like you want to have like a Knicks fan in your life because you know you kind of feel bad for them. You kind of like pat them on the back a little bit. And I'm talking as a Pistons fan. Like I haven't won anything in a while, but like bro, they just do it to themselves sometimes. But look, what can this man do? He can do something. He needs to be creative here because this is compared to most teams, this is a good matchup for Brandon. Like, the swim component is definitely interesting. Dragovich does not have sand, Swift Swim. It has Sand Rush. I don't know if Tapu Bulu gets Play Rough, but you better hope it fucking does. Because Tapu Bulu can do very well in this match. Not great against Glastrier, but the Coco can too. Like, this is the thing. There's, like, nothing is really doing anything here. Like, Togekiss... I mean, yeah, Togekiss can destroy Como, so that's great. And also, Coco can destroy Como. you can beat the Glass Cheer, maybe not with Togekiss, but you can with some damn help. Flareon might be really nice here as well. Clef gets beat by Scizor and Duraludon. That's nice. I'm telling you, if a roster can do it, it's Brandon. He can't make himself lose. He has to watch some tape. He has got to watch some tape. But the opportunity is there. Speed tiers aside, you know, this is a team where, like, he's relying on things like Galarian, G-Max Gengar, Dusclops is I mean, that's a problem for Dusclops, but, not, can't answer all your problems here. And I mean, Politoed can be just as annoying as Gothitelle. He could use Politoed to mess with the Gothitelle. So, there's a lot of different creative things Brandon can do. If Brandon has the time, Brandon can give Justin a run for his money. I don't know if he has the time, nor do I think he will take the time. So because of that, I'll say 2-0 Justin. But if Brandon put some effort in here, really dialed something up for Justin, I would say 2-1 Brandon. But because I don't think that's going to happen, I got 2-0 Justin. But if it was going to happen, you know, if someone was to upset Justin and knock him off his rocking horse, wouldn't we all love for it to be Brandon? Spoiler? The spoiler? I'm telling you, this is his time. If Brandon gets a win tomorrow, and then knocks off Justin, we might have a race to the playoffs for Brandon. That'd be exciting. I kind of want to see that. So I'm rooting for Brandon here. Sorry, Justin. I think also Brandon has a roster to make this close. Just saying. We'll move on, though. Sir Chester Center scored the far-sighted Flygons. Noah Benny. That's an exciting little matchup, huh? Steelix, Articuno, Riolu, Avalugg. Maybe a Crook game again. Crook is amazing in this matchup. Holy shit. It's amazing, except for like Rillaboom and Lando T and Avalugg, but like everything else is really nice against. And Noah has things to take care of Rillaboom, like Venusaur, which has not done very much this season. You guys see that? That's a problem. Lando T can beat Venusaur with Flying type, but Hitmontop's around and Crook the double intimidate. Dracozold's here. Raikou can maybe mess with the Alolan Raichu, and then Rotom Heat. I think this is going to be close. Dracozold's a big threat. Maybe not a Prim game. I mean, maybe if Prim's set up correctly, but I don't know about that. He does have some really good counters to cover for Landorus' weaknesses, like water and ice types, with this Rotom Heat and Nihilego. That's really nice. I got 2-1 Benny here. I think Benny has a really good matchup. I think there are some things that Noah can do to neutralize his biggest threats, who have not really played like threats. Like, obviously, you see that most of his Pokemon have lower KD, Bisharp, and Avalugg, notwithstanding. But I just think matchup-wise, like, there's too much pressure coming from the top that he can't deal with. I mean, he can deal with it, but it's not going to be as effective as what Benny can do in return. So I got 2-1 Benny, but I could see Noah winning this. He does have an Articuno to beat the Landorus T and Rillaboom, but can you rely on Articuno to win this game? This remains to be seen with the rest of Noah's team comp. I think he needs to get a little bit creative here to win this game, and I don't think Benny has to get creative because of just the threats that Benny has. But yeah, Benny's squad is still very talented, and he's on his way to the top. I'm telling you, people who start 0-5, they're a little different, you know, I'm telling you. So watch out. I have Noah on upset watch, 2-1 Benny. And then we have Blake, the Glaring Galad's coach against the Evergrande X Clouds. Oh. Let's see, let's observe. Oregon G's around, Corviknight's here, Arcanine's here. Gastron's around, so Galarian Zapdos hasn't done that much now. There's Garchomp, but Volcarona really becoming the MVP of Blake's team. Could Charizard put in some work here? Possibly, against that Alolan Ninetales. Feedy's a little bit of a problem for it, but Charizard. G-Max Charizard, come on. Rotom hasn't really came out yet. Could that be very good here? It could be good against the Corviknight. And the Tapu Fini, actually. Very good against the Tapu Fini. Interesting. That's on watch. For me, it's like, how does Blake counter Arcanine? There's a couple different ways, but Arcanine's kind of a problem for Blake. Gastrodon is around, and so is Garchomp. Maybe he relies on the Gastrodon to take away that Fini problem. Just knowing a couple different things about the people in this match, I'm going to say 2-1 Blake. But on paper, I think I lean towards Noah just because the threat of the Fini, even though it's kind of neutralized by Gastrodon, the threat of Fini and Arcanine do pose a challenge to Blake. Kind of neutralize what he wants to do. Tyranium could come out and play as well, but then the Fini comes. I think Dragapult could be very impressive here, especially against this Cress, with the Sableye, with the possible quashing and the foul play. Corviknight could be decent here as well. It does need to steer clear of Volcarona and Rotom, but besides that, it should be okay. Oh, and Charizard, maybe not. But yeah, 2-1 Blake. I do see like that Corviknight could become neutralized. Beartic has probably came out too much, and I don't think it's very good here. Well, actually, I take that back because Beartic is really good against the Rotom and the Garchomp. And Zapdos. So, possibly. I'm still going to say 2-1 Blake, but it could be closer. And then lastly, a championship rematch of Newbark United and Galarian. Blackthorn City Breloom's. Double Ghost. Oh, triple Ghost Bailey. That's epic. Get triple Ghost. But he has a normal type in Stoutland. I think it also gets Scrappy. Am I correct? Does Stoutland get Scrappy? It does. Do you hear that? Scrappy hits Ghost type moves. Ghost type Pokemon. Maybe you don't want to Intimidate this week, but you do have Hippowdon too. Intimidate and Sand Rush are both good, but you do have Scrappy. Could be useful here. Just saying. But then I would still hit Shedinja because it would be neutral and it only gets hit by super effective attacks. I know that mechanic. Trust me. Yeah, it's happened to me before. Here's a problem. The only fire type on this team is Talonflame. Incredibly frail, not having an impressive season on the Newbark United compared to others. Incineroar, pretty good against this squad. Especially with Sceptile added. Very good at neutralizing Lele, Excadrill, Sceptile, Executor. Can not really Regirock. That's the only really big issue for it. And Melodic is also a problem for it, but does he have a good way of countering those? I mean, he has Gyarados, so that's a good thing, but Melodic has Kartana. Hitmonlee's useless here. Oh, actually, it's not useless with the Incineroar and Kartana hanging around, but then the Drifblim exists. Drifblim could be an underdog here with the Unburden, with Jacob's Terrain. Just saying, that's a thing. Could get off some nice Shadow Balls on this squad. Executor and Tapu Lele would not like that. Some flying type moves as well. I like Bailey here to bounce back. Tentacruel could also work well against Regirock, but would need to be weary of Max Quakes. And I mean, maybe you could counter Hippowdon on the way Stop the Sand coming out. Mamoswine's pretty good here, especially for the Goodra. Raichu could stop Melodic in its tracks, but Jacob doesn't have an electric type. So maybe not as useful here, but would take out Melodic and Talonflame, so could still be useful. I just think that every counter, and Grimmsnarl can set up screens and maybe become an attacker and knock out Goodra. Not great against Lele, but screens are always nice, especially for the Pokemon that Bailey has in his team, like Kartana. So I'm going to say 2-1. Actually, no, I'm going to say 2-0 Bailey. I do think the advantage is that large here. And I don't really know what Jacob can do to overcome that other than hope Bailey doesn't bring the right Pokemon for him. So yeah, that's tonight's episode of the Coaches Lounge. Did run a little bit longer than I wanted to. But solo show's about done. Thank you for the love. Angel Feather Art. Angel Feather _art. AKA Brian, former MSBA champion. But yeah, I will catch you guys later. I need to go pack, maybe take some sleep. Get some Z's. Ah, God. I make myself cringe. Good night, everybody.